What's going on, Attack Gaming? I'm Skyland Shore, and I just wanted to talk about the most popular free-to-play games on Steam. You can actually go and access this very window for yourself. You just go to Games, then click Free to Play, and then you have Popular New Releases, Most Popular Coming Soon, and Specials, and you're gonna hit Most Popular. Of course, you could probably do this for any genre, early access, action, adventure, all that. But we're going to be talking about the free-to-play specifically, and I'm going to give you a rundown on these games right here. This is top 10. Here we go. We're going to start by number 10, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Phantoms. And I just want to say that these games are subject to change like every month. For instance, Counter-Strike NEXON Zombies just came out, so that's why it's so popular above Path of Exile. Path of Exile being a very, very well-known, very good game. Counter-Strike NEXON Zombies being known as kind of like, yeah, not that great, but still very popular. So, anyways, Ghost Recon Phantoms, guys. This is actually a really fantastic game. I have a lot of fun with it. Let's click it here, enter the birth date, and I think it's probably unique, at least in the free-to-play market. As we can see from the trailer here, it's going to show really awesome aesthetic. It's not too unique of an aesthetic. We've seen this whole modern, post-modern kind of aesthetic a lot of times, actually, but in this game, it is a strategy shooter. There's a lot of strategy elements to it. You're not quite running and gunning, but it's a little bit faster paced, and I like it, at least compared to some of the older Tom Clancy or Ghost Recon games. I think it's really, really fun overall game. I just don't know, it feels a little bit pay to win, and I don't really quite understand the experience and leveling processes. I don't know, it seems kind of interesting to get into. Anyways, it's just not that easy for newer players, I think. Easy is not the right word. The mechanics, you know what, yeah, it's not that easy. The mechanics are actually very, very hard to understand, I guess, for somebody, especially if you've never played an FPS shooter on the PC. Probably crazy, mind-boggling. It is a third-person shooter, and it is actually really good. So anyways, Heroes and Generals. This is a game that I played in alpha, and this is actually you can play it in the browser. It doesn't run that great in the browser, but anyways, it's on Steam now. Early access game, it's still not out. Basically, you can either play as a commander, you can ship units from place to place, or you can actually get in tanks, ride bicycles, you're shooting, and it feels very authentic, I have to say. I have to say that the guns have, I don't know, it's not realistic, it's not going to be super realistic, but it just feels realistic. So if you're somebody who really likes these old-timey games, maybe like World of Tanks, War Thunder, or something that has a little bit of authenticity, you might like this game. So yeah, you can command as a general, or you can be a foot soldier. It's really action-packed, really reminds me of Battlefield a lot, and for a free-to-play game, it's definitely unique. Probably one of the better ones, and it definitely deserves a spot in popularity. Though it doesn't quite run as good as it could. It doesn't, I mean, it looks good, but it doesn't look as good as it could either. But then again, you know, early access game, it's going to be better than ever when it actually releases. Okay, so Path of Exile. I already said that this was known as a good game. It absolutely is a good game. So let's talk about Path of Exile. Path of Exile is an action RPG, and it's an online action RPG, and it's made by kind of like a smaller studio, which is really interesting. It kind of took the scene by storm because it's just good. Not only is it just good with extremely good voice acting and storytelling and really awesome world building, so it's got the RPG aspects down, but also it's got the RPG mechanics, guys. It doesn't just have the lore, it doesn't just have the world, it's got the mechanics. Really awesome, really good feeling mechanics. There is PvP in this game, but really the focus is the PvE, and it ties in with the story very, very well. It feels so good, it's very hardcore, and of course, aesthetically, a dark game. But overall, with how customizable your classes are, it's amazing. The only downside I really have to this game is that when you first start out, you first start a character, it's not like you're really customizing your own original character. You're kind of playing a character. You're playing a very specific character. You cannot customize their hair or anything. If you want cosmetics, you purchase that in the cash shop, and nothing is pay to win about this game at all. Absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend this game enough. Alright, so Counter-Strike NEXON Zombies. I really did not like this game. I really, really didn't. There are some people that do like this game because they played the original. But this, guys, this is Counter-Strike NEXON Zombies. It's, honestly, if you really like Counter-Strike, like the older Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike Source, you might be able to enjoy this game, but it is seriously lacking a huge amount of polish. It is extremely arcade to a childish amount. It just does not compete with modern free-to-play games. I think, I mean, I don't know, like Alliance of Valiant Arms, games like that still beat out this game. Counter-Strike NEXON Zombies, It could be fun, you know, for a weekend, maybe get some guys to play it. There are some interesting game types. There really are. There's a couple of interesting game types. But overall, the game design is just very amateur, and it's just overall silly. It's not really supposed to be competitive, but people try to play with a competitive mindset. They get very heated. Yeah, so I don't like talking to those kind of people. The community for this game is basically non-existent, I think. Yeah, the user reviews right here on the right, it's mixed. It's like, it's very popular, but I think it's really more of just people, they think it's going to be something better than it is. They get into it, and it's not. It's got some really unique ideas. I think it's probably maybe worth trying. I'm kind of stretching it there because it does have some unique ideas, but it just lacks polish 100%. The game has not aged very well, even though it just technically released. It's a really Western re-release. Okay guys, now a game that I really like, even though it does lack some polish, I'll admit it, is Unturned. Unturned was actually made by a 16-freaking-year-old. He made a game in Roblox, and then now the idea just took off so well that he wanted to make his own, so he went and he built this game himself, and it's basically DayZ meets Minecraft graphics. That's what this game is. And it's so funny because I actually pre-purchased the WarZ, which is now Infection Survival Stories, and all the promises that game had, which totally failed, and you know that you guys know the reviews for that game. This game actually came with those promises, like vehicles. You can actually craft. You can have all these different unique lighting effects where you can sort of guard your hideout. You can make traps. Of course, guns and shooting. I have to say the game feels really good. It looks corny as hell, but it's made by a 16-year-old, and it's a free-to-play, and you know, it's really good. It's a totally fantastic and unique free-to-play game because there is no DayZ free-to-play game that I think appropriately does the gameplay justice. And even though the game is cutesy, it's still great. So Unturned, I absolutely love it. Now let's go on to War Thunder. War Thunder, I did not think this game was going to do very well, honestly. It seemed like a copycat of World of Tanks, and guys, we know where World of Tanks is. World of Tanks is still and probably will continue to be the competitive game that it is, but it's also kind of one-dimensional. This game has air, you have tanks, who knows, I think they're even updating with a ship component to the game. So War Thunder has a whole lot going for it. A lot of people really do like it because it looks good, plays good. It's just a little bit different from World of Tanks. If you're an enthusiast, if you kind of like history, if you kind of, you know, just like big guns, stuff like that, historical battles, I think you're going to enjoy War Thunder a lot. It's very popular. Now, it's considered an MMO, and even World of Tanks is considered an MMO. No, it's not technically an MMO, not really. It's a multiplayer game. You can play with a lot of people, and there's a lot that you can do, and of course it's popular because, you know, there's a lot of people playing it, but it's not technically an MMO. It's not going to be like Planetside 2 or anything. Do I recommend War Thunder? Absolutely. It's not that easy to get into. It doesn't appeal to everyone. It's a little bit niche, but even considering that, it's very popular, and I'm very glad that it is. I always like it when niche products get popular. Okay, now here, okay, oh my gosh, I freaking love ROBOCRAFT. Let's get into ROBOCRAFT, guys. ROBOCRAFT is Minecraft meets World of Tanks. You literally are building your vehicle, which is not just a land vehicle. You can make, right here, flying vehicles, hover vehicles. You can make some ridiculous, like, moving or floating fortresses. It's insane. It's so awesome. I really enjoy this game so much. I think there's just so much depth to this game. It could even potentially be competitive. I'm not even gonna lie. It's ridiculous how fun it is, but also, you know, how strategic it is, how mechanical it can be. And it's so cool because not only do you build your vehicles block by block, but they can also be destroyed block by block. So just like World of Tanks, you can have different parts of your tank or your vehicle be destroyed, and you're gonna be worse off for it. So very cool game, especially if you have friends, I think. And the whole leveling process, and like the way you can master or research different vehicle parts, I think is really cool. Overall, I just like the whole experience of ROBOCRAFT, and I'm so glad that it is popular. Definitely 2 thumbs up for that game. Okay guys, now we're talking about WARFRAME. WARFRAME is hella popular, especially because it did go to the PS4 as a free-to-play game. WARFRAME, what can I say about this game? Well, WARFRAME has no technical end game. It doesn't really have like a giant end boss. There's not any one thing that you work towards in the end, and that's definitely to a fault. This is a very grind-based game, so you are going to be non-stop grind. Like literally, you are not going to do anything else other than grinding in this game. but because of the mechanics, because of the graphics, because of the hidden lore, it's kind of interesting. And really the whole game is about mastering your warframe, mastering your weapons, mastering your different abilities, and then getting new weapons, getting more warframes, and mastering those. Normally a grind-based game, I feel, it does very well to have a PvP component. But Warframe really just kind of tacked on a PvP component. I think it could be something really awesome. Potentially, honestly, Warframe could honestly very well be a very, very good PvP, almost esportish title, but that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for more grind content to grind through, more bosses and everything. And I have to say that if they keep going that route, they're going to need to have bigger, badder bosses and way more fun missions. And they are adding more constant stuff to the game, but I honestly just feel it's a little bit too grindy, and it's so easy. It's easy to get into, and it seems like a really awesome game, but when you actually try to be a little bit competitive, you learn that there's so much content in the game, it's just mindless. There's no point. There's way too many mods. There's way too many different missions that really, there's no reason to do it. Tons of missions are exactly the same as other missions. Even though they are randomly generated, there's no true meaningful choice in this game, and it's just a sea of grind. Okay guys, getting on to Valve's big two is Team Fortress 2 and Dota 2. Dota 2 is also just the #1 period most popular game on the Steam format here. That's free to play or buy to play. CSGO is #2. Okay, so Team Fortress 2. If you have not played Team Fortress 2 yet, or maybe you just played it and tried it and you thought it looked stupid, guys, try it again. TF2 does kind of have a cutesy art style, but this is actually a competitive esport game, and at the same time, it's extremely friendly for casual people. There's also a co-op mode, man versus machine. It's a ton of fun and also very difficult if you put it on the expert levels. And at the same time, there's tons of servers, there's custom game modes in here, lots of different custom maps, and you have people always adding on for the different holiday events. They have items, custom-made items by players and fans alike, and you also just have tons of stuff from the Steam Workshop being put into Team Fortress 2 all the time to make it a good game. And of course, a lot that I'm going to say for Team Fortress 2 is going to carry over to Dota 2 because Valve is just doing a great job with the overall format of these two games. But Team Fortress 2, I do have to say that no other first-person shooter has done the different classes like this game. This game literally defines amazing class balance. I really do believe it. You have a medic that literally they just heal people. You have a spy that can change into another person on another, like there's no other game that lets you do that. You could change into an opposing person. You get their name tag and everything, go and backstab people. Of course you have the heavy, the pyro, the scout. If you want to play a Quake, right? Or an arena shooter, you play the scout because you just run around, shoot people. Of course, if you want to play like, I don't know, tower defense, then play the engineer. Seriously, the classes are amazing. And that just defines Team Fortress 2. Game types are also pretty silly, but Dota 2 is the #1 most popular game. It's an esport, it's huge, has the highest grossing esports pay, period. I don't know what to say about this game. It's just big for every single reason that you could say a game is good. Probably the only downside is that unlike League of Legends is a pretty mechanical game, and it's actually very easy to grasp. Dota 2 is more complicated. It is definitely the more complex MOBA, and that's hands down. And you know, Riot, they claim that League of Legends, you know, that's how they advertise League of Legends, is that it's a simpler MOBA. You get into the action and it feels better. But Dota is a little bit more complicated. But at the same time, it has so much more polish and so many more features than League of Legends that it's hard to pick which one to, you know, play. League of Legends, kind of easy to get into, and it feels good in the fights because everything is very mechanical, very quick. But Dota 2. Even though everything is more unforgiving, everything is more, you gotta think about it harder, it's a little bit more strategic, even then, I don't know. Dota 2 just has so much more polish with the replay system, with the Steam Workshop, with all the different armors, because instead of just buying skins, you can purchase separate armors. That's not exactly a positive, but it can be. I personally actually like the different skins from League of Legends, but Dota 2 just has so much more options, especially with mods. You can actually play different custom game types and mods, and overall the Valve support is just unparalleled. And yes, it is the biggest esport, at least money-wise. You can definitely rack up some money if you play a Dota team. Now, the characterization I don't know if I can say that the characters are more unique than League of Legends. I personally feel like League of Legends has more character. It's a little bit more original because this is Dota 2. It's a sequel. But other than that, Dota 2 is hands down definitely worthy of its title. And competing with League of Legends, you know, I don't think it needs to compete with League of Legends. Even though they are kind of similar, they're actually pretty different games aesthetically and mechanically. So if you do want to play Dota 2, just go ahead and try it. It's just fun, guys. It's hard to get into, but that's the point. That's why you play MOBAs, right? You want to learn, you want to get better, hone your craft, whatever. You don't have to play just one MOBA. I don't. So Dota 2, definitely a worthy game. Alright guys, so what do you think of these top 10 games? Personally, I do not think that Counter-Strike NEXON Zombies should be the most popular game. That's probably just a phase. Tell me what you think. Now, I know a lot of people disagree with me and think that Counter-Strike NEXON Zombies is actually good. I honestly can't bring myself to play it because it just looks like it has no polish. A lot of people don't like playing Heroes of the Generals. But what do you guys think? Leave in the comments below what free-to-play games on Steam that you really, really like. Maybe if we haven't done a first impression on it, we'll go ahead and go back and review it, definitely. So, I'm Skyline Shore with MMO Attack. Check us out at MMOATK.com, and this is the Attack Gaming YouTube, and like and subscribe for us, okay? So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again later. Hey guys, I'm Skyline Shore, welcome back Attack, and today we're looking at WARFRAME. Now, WARFRAME is a Flash-based MMORPG, and they actually have another game called Dofus, and this is the sequel to that MMO. So this is a strategy game. You're going to be moving on tiles. It is a tile-based MMO, isometric view, and you're going to be moving on these tiles, and that also means for the combat, it's turn-based